What's the first thing you plan to do?
Go hug my son.
Mr. Govan, you haven't smiled all this week, but obviously you have a lot to smile about. Just tell me just about what you're feeling in right now.
Like I said, it's kind of hard to explain the feeling of getting your life back, you know.
CMG's empire might be falling apart right in front of us. For years, the streets been whispering about cracks behind Yo Gotti's clean image. But now, those whispers sound like sirens across Memphis. Stan G, one of the city's most connected voices, dropped a straight-up bomb on No Jumper. No hints, no games. He said Yo Gotti might be plotting against his own artist, Blac Youngsta. And this ain't just random talk online. It's coming from someone who's been deep in the trenches, talking to the same people tied to Young Dolph's case. Stan G made it clear that same dark energy Gotti allegedly aimed at Dolph might have been what got him killed. And if he could move like that toward a rival, what's stopping him from flipping on his own crew? When things got real, Stan G didn't hold back. He said Blac Youngsta was basically Gotti's soldier.
When I put out a story, the other day I put out a story, Young Ma had ended up catching a Rico, you know what I'm talking about? And I put out a story, an hour later the news ran the same story.
The one who crashed out for the team, always loud in the videos, beefing on camera, saying what others wouldn't dare. At first it worked. CMG was buzzing heavy, but now that same fire is burning too close to home, with the Dolph drama still haunting the city. Stan G said Blac Youngsta's position don't look like power anymore. It looks like risk. In the Yo Gotti's world, risk means replaceable. Stan G didn't even need to spell it out. In CMG, once you stop being useful, your clock starts ticking fast. Fans caught the message right away. This wasn't just old memories. It was a full-on warning shot.
I feel like, man, whatever you do wrong must come back around in a circle. Just like you know what I'm talking about? If you did wrong and everybody know it's blatant, the truth is out in the open. You sent that type of energy towards the Young Dolph way, and you got no Young Dolph knocked off. I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who said the whole supposedly, you know what I'm saying, Dolph murder.
Stan G wasn't chasing clout. He was dropping a real message. Watch your back. He reminded everyone of that street rule. What you throw out in the world always circles back. And the way Gotti been moving lately, Youngsta's loyalty might be the very thing that puts him in danger. That's when the whole situation started feeling shaky. CMG once ruled the game. Gotti had his dream squad locked in. Moneybagg Yo was flooding charts non-stop. Blac Youngsta kept the label viral with that wild energy. And Glorilla came through like a storm, blowing up overnight. From the outside, it looked like a tight, shining family. All success, no cracks. But that picture's fading fast. Moneybagg's momentum slowed, Youngsta's spark dimmed, and now Gotti's full focus seems locked on Glorilla, the last bright light at CMG. But even she's under heavy pressure, carrying the entire label on her shoulders. It's not giving family anymore. It's giving survival mode. Everyone's on edge, wondering who's next to get pushed out and who's actually safe inside CMG. Then things got even wilder. Blac Youngsta suddenly wiped CMG clean from his bio and started posting cryptic captions that looked like direct shots. Right after he started acting distant, Stan G jumped back in with another heavy warning. That's when the laughs stopped. People quit calling it trolling and started realizing something serious might be going down. The energy around CMG flipped fast. Fans started catching on to the strange vibes. The crew don't look tight like they once did. Now every post feels sneaky. Every move seems calculated. And all that loyalty talk just don't hit the same anymore. To really get why it's so tense between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta, you gotta rewind to the Young Dolph story. That's where all the smoke started. Back then, Gotti tried to sign Dolph, but Dolph straight up rejected him. That one no flipped everything. Gotti didn't just let it go. He allegedly started blocking Dolph's plays, trying to slow his rise. But instead of stopping him, it only made him bigger, hotter, and more respected, turning that music tension into something deeply personal. Then the tracks started flying, interviews got messy, and real street tension started mixing in. Right in the middle of it all stood Blac Youngsta. He wasn't just spitting bars, he was living them, pulling up the neighborhoods, shooting wild videos, doing stuff most rappers would never dare to try. At first, people thought it was just his brand, that loud, fearless energy that made him stand out. But looking back now, it feels way too reckless. Even Stan G called it out, said it was a federal move, because Youngsta was putting himself in spots that could have brought serious heat on him and the whole CMG camp. Even though nothing was ever proven against Yo Gotti or Blac Youngsta, the streets already made up their minds. And once your name gets tied to something that heavy, it sticks. That's the dark cloud hanging over CMG right now. And that's exactly why Youngsta don't look like the golden ticket anymore. He's starting to look like a reminder of something the label can't escape. There was a time when he was CMG's wild card, the life of the label, pulling crazy stunts, cracking jokes online, flashing cash, keeping CMG trending nonstop. Every time Gotti needed eyes back on the brand, he lit the flame. Fans saw him as the loyal soldier, the one who ride to the end. No questions asked. That loyalty made Blac Youngsta a fan favorite, a real CMG soldier in everyone's eyes. But Stan G saw it from a different angle. He didn't see loyalty. He saw manipulation. He said Youngsta was one of the biggest sendouts in Memphis, meaning Gotti would allegedly send him to handle the risky, messy situations, while he stayed clean in the background. And when you really look at it, that's exactly how it played out. Gotti was always sitting back, calm and collected, playing the boss role, while Youngsta was out front, wilding on camera and carrying all the heat. That kind of setup worked when it was all about hype and viral energy, but that kind of job don't last forever. Once Dolph was gone, the whole dynamic flipped. The same antics that once seemed funny started looking straight up dangerous. The same loyalty that made Youngsta valuable now made him look reckless. Instead of being CMG's spark, he turned into the one dragging all the baggage, every diss, every memory, or old beefs the fans can't forget. What once made him the pulse of the label now makes him his heaviest weight. Every wild stunt, every reckless move still hanging over his name. Everything started circling right back to Blac Youngsta, and now he's gone silent. Stan G even said straight up the Youngsta's in hide mode because the Dolph case still hang heavy on him. To the streets, that silence looks like guilt or defeat. And to Yo Gotti, it screams liability. The kind of artist who could bring the worst kind of heat at the worst possible time. That's when folks started realizing something's definitely off inside CMG. Youngsta's going viral more than once for wiping CMG out of his bio and claiming he's independent. Every time it happens, fans lose it, speculate nonstop. Usually, a few days later, he's back under the CMG banner like nothing happened, but this time feels different. The tension's too real. With Stan G's warning still echoing through Memphis, Youngsta started dropping long emotional rants online. And these weren't just random vent sessions. He was calling out fake CEOs, fake big homies, and fake brothers, all labels people have thrown at Yo Gotti for years. Then he doubled down, talking about fake love, fake loyalty, and trusting the wrong ones. If that's not a direct shot, then what is? The tone was bitter, raw, and personal, like someone finally realizing the same game he helped build might have been playing him all along. After everything that's going down, fans can't help but wonder if this is the breaking point, the moment everything inside CMG truly starts to fall apart. Blac Youngsta finally broke away from CMG for good, and what hit people hardest was how emotional his posts were. He wasn't flexing chains or bragging about money this time. He was talking about losing friends, feeling alone, and realizing that no matter how rich you get, you can still be touched. That's deep, and it didn't sound like trolling for views. It sounded like a man who knows the walls are closing in, and the timing, way too perfect to ignore. Fans had already been whispering that CMG was cracking from the inside, and here comes Youngsta basically confirming it. Everything ain't as solid as it looks. He never mentioned Yo Gotti's name directly, but everyone knew who he was talking about. You didn't need to read between the lines. It was plain as day. And then there's Gotti, the self-made mob boss of Memphis, the man who built his whole image around power and control. Even his name comes from John Gotti. For years, he's played that calm, untouchable role. So when Youngsta threw out those fake CEO and fake boss shots, Gotti didn't sit quiet. He fired back his own way. He dropped bars laced with that mafia-style talk, even referencing Jay-Z's Thai intro just to remind everybody who's really calling the shots. That's when things started to feel scary. In a mob-style setup, breaking rank isn't just disrespect, it's straight-up betrayal. And betrayal never ends clean, especially in a world built on loyalty and fear. After Young Dolph's death, all that quiet tension between Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti turned into something you could feel. It was in the music, in the posts, and in the silence that followed. CMG's picture-perfect unity had officially cracked. Once Dolph was killed, the streets didn't hesitate. Fingers started pointing fast, and many of them aimed straight at CMG. Even Yo Gotti's own brother, Big Juke, got picked up and questioned by police, which had the whole city buzzing. Then came another shocker. The man accused of taking Dolph out, Gouvin Hernandez, got acquitted. That verdict had the entire internet in chaos, and the pressure around CMG shot right back up overnight. At a time when Gotti needed the crew to stay quiet and loyal, Blac Youngsta did the complete opposite. Out of nowhere, he started stirring things up again, and that move couldn't have come at a worse time for a label already drowning in tension. Blac Youngsta took things to another level when he dropped the music video filmed at a gravesite, standing beside a headstone with Dolph's last name clearly showing. Then he doubled down, posting wild stuff online like he didn't care what the streets of the industry had to say. Maybe to him it was loyalty, that ride or die entity that built his whole image. But to Yo Gotti, it was a total nightmare. It looked reckless, cold, and dangerous for the CMG brand. Fans noticed the shift instantly. What once looked like fearless loyalty now looked like a ticking time bomb that could blow everything CMG built to pieces. The cracks between Gotti and Youngsta weren't whispers anymore. They were right in the open. CMG started losing that glow it once had. Moneybagg Yo's run slowed down. 42 Doug got caught up in legal mess, and Youngsta went completely quiet. Even Stan G pointed it out. Gotti can't move the same anymore. Too much heat, too much pressure, and way too many eyes watching since Dolph's death. Now it's only one keeping CMG alive in the spotlight, Glorilla. She's the last spark holding weight, but one artist can't carry an entire empire forever. The streets see it. The buzz is fading, the loyalty's cracking, and that once untouchable CMG machine is looking more fragile with every move. Now it's not about who's next to blow up. It's about who's next to fall out. And this is where things start feeling real dangerous for Blac Youngsta. Because everyone knows Yo Gotti ain't just a rapper. He's connected. Stan G said it clear as day. Gotti got ties in high places. If he decides someone's career is over, it's over. And if he wants legal smoke around you, best believe that could happen too. So when Blac Youngsta throws shade online, it's not just petty rebellion, it's risky business. In Gotti's world, being labeled a liability doesn't mean just losing your spot on the label. It can mean losing everything. Fans can feel that pressure building, the kind of tension where silence sounds louder than words. Let's be real. If Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta really clash, it won't be some light rap beef. This could turn ugly fast. Gotti moves like the president of Memphis. Power, respect, and influence that stretches from the studio to the streets, from business tables to industry boardrooms. And if things ever cross that line, it won't just be rappers trading bars. It could spill into the streets, pulling in families, friends, and whole crews. But here's the twist. Blac Youngsta ain't built to fold. He's never been the type to roll over or stay quiet when he feels disrespected. And that's exactly why this whole situation feels like it's sitting right on the edge. Blac Youngsta's the wild card, reckless, emotional, and never scared to speak his mind. That's what made him love him, but now it's the same thing that makes him dangerous. When you mix his unpredictable energy with Yo Gotti's cold ball style moves, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Everyone can feel the tension rising, and nobody wants this to turn into another tragedy like what went down with Dolph. The air around CMG feels thick, too heavy to ignore. Youngsters calling out fake CEOs, while Stan G's warning that Gotti could turn on his own. It's like the writing's glowing on the wall in red ink, loud and clear. The streets are watching every move, and even fans who once hyped CMG's unity are now whispering about how ugly this could get. If things don't get fixed soon, CMG might not just lose one artist, it could lose its entire legacy. The empire Gotti built on loyalty, hustle, and power looks like it's starting to crack right in front of everyone. The question isn't if CMG's falling apart anymore. That part's obvious. The real question is, how far will Gotti go to keep control? Because if Stan G's words hold truth, then Youngsta might be standing on the edge of something way darker than rap beef. So what you think? Did Youngsta take it too far, or is Gotti cutting off his own team? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Catch you in the next one. It's about to get even deeper.